Yes, party people. My creepy weirdos, it is Obeli. I'm here to talk about Unholy because there's a lot of shtick going around about obviously the Unholy nerfs that came through. Let's clear that up. Now, in the background, you will see there is some footage from Pit of Sauron 15 playing Unholy. Now, I've seen quite a few, excuse me, just readjusting. I've seen quite a few people on the base of playing Unholy but just not playing it well or playing with the wrong build, and that's why the damage is pretty shitty. I think that there's still potential in Unholy, and you will see in this key that there definitely is. I mean, now with the nerfs that came through, also, I preface this, apologies for the fucking cooldown manager in the middle. I don't know what I did, but somehow I fucked all my buffs on my cooldown manager, and I didn't know prior to the key, so now you're going to see every buff I possibly could ever get. But obviously I'll change that in future videos. Now, main topic, the light, stop getting distracted, obviously. The main topic, so Unholy received some pretty big nerfs. So there was, in December, just before Christmas, Unholy got a big blanket nerf. And yeah, it was like 25%, which I think on top of everything had already been nerfed before. I'm hearing the number 36% in total, which is kind of lazy because it means that if we didn't have good AoE but had great single target, that flat nerf means we've got good single target and no AoE, which is not really a good profile to have. So the end goal for them has always been to revert that and then nerf individual things to make a more balanced profile, I think. So that is what they did. That's why you saw the nerfs you did. The 25% flat nerf, obviously that got completely reversed, and then everything else got nerfed in its own right, including some hero talents. It makes total sense what they did to Ryder, because Ryder was such a large portion of damage for free, for nothing. You did nothing for it. It's purely just passive. You don't even play around it. Like Sandlane, for example, all the damage that comes from Sandlane, you have to be knowledgeable. You have to know what you're pressing to make that damage come, and you have to be kind of lucky. Whereas with Ryder, absolutely nothing. It's just free down. So it makes sense that they nerfed what they nerfed. So now, given the position that they are in, there wasn't that big of a number disparity. Everyone, not crying, but everybody's sort of in uproar about the nerfs on Unholy and how it's now terrible and awful's back. Not true. Now, I need to also preface this again, that it is complete. This is beta. I need to separate this. Beta, we're talking about beta Unholy, versus what you will get on pre-patch, which is not beta Unholy. This is different. So if you're wondering about anything that's going to be coming in the next week, on Wednesday, this is not, I'm not talking about that version of Unholy. I am talking about the one that's strictly on beta. So that being said, this is kind of what I've gathered from playing it a little bit now. Its burst is great. Its burst is really good. Takes a little bit of ramp up time, but you'll find when you don't have people in the group that are just consistently smashing the shit out of it all the time. You don't have the best DPS in the world. You have actually like long living packs. You'll be fine. You will be fine when you have your burst. However, without it, as you can see here, literally right behind me, I'm steadying about 90, 80k. Whereas I'm about to, no, I think I'm going to hold my burst in this one. Which is not great. Literally doing tank damage when we don't have cooldowns isn't brilliant. But to be honest, don't know if this tank has popped any cooldowns to do that damage. I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, if you look at the disparity between the DPS, they've probably popped cooldowns. You don't know. I mean, I'm holding as well because this next pack is going to be a large one. Yeah, you do nothing. You don't do a lot. You do very meaningless damage, to be honest, without your cooldowns, which was kind of the case before. So I don't really feel like the nerfs have changed anything there. But now, when I'm about to burst, there's not that many targets. I think, did we get some more targets in? I'm not sure. Yeah, there's one there. We're starting to creep up a little bit now, and I'm not playing any differently to how I was before. All the nerfs, even though there was a big plethora of nerfs, haven't changed anything. They haven't changed the way that you play. You haven't changed your rotation, any sort of urgency between spells. It's all the same. You're still only casting Scourge Strike with stacks, making sure Festering Scythe is on the target. using Putrefy as soon as you can, unless you have burst coming up, then hold it for your Dark Transformation window. And the main thing is just keeping that 7 stack. It's really difficult to keep that. Do you see there? Like I almost lost my 7 stack of Essence there if it wasn't for Dark Transformation literally coming back that very second. That is the key. I think being able to hold that buff as many times as you can, not letting that drop, will be the difference between you doing decent damage and you just doing like shit damage. But compared to Frost, I'd say probably have an easier time playing Frost. With probably about the same damage, but Frost just has that little bit of AoE, and Unholy is kind of left behind with just a single target, I'd say. But as you can see, DPS is not that different. In terms of the overall, I think you'll see by the end of the key the actual DPS difference is. I mean, I've got the log as well, but it's not that much compared to what it was like before. Actually, this is about to be a fat burst here. I remember this burst. We also have a potion available for this one too, so this is going to be brilliant. But in the overall as well, you can see that there's not that much difference in it. So Unholy's not dead. This is what I wanted to. What I wanted to get across is that Unholy isn't dead. Like, bit of dooming, bit of glooming, saying that I'm not going to be able to play Unholy now. I'm trolling if I play Unholy. That is not the case. That's definitely not true. You will be absolutely fine playing Unholy if that is what you want to play, as I have found here. But I do recommend playing the build that I'm playing here. I don't think I flashed the talents. I'm a bad content creator. Sorry. To make up for it, I will just link it in the description. Soz. Anyways, Dark Transformation window, and we have plenty of stacks. Lovely jubbly. Now, the main thing is you want to get your first thing size just done and on target. So you want to just stack up your ghoul stacks to maybe well, as high as you can get it, 8 ideally, so that when you go in your Dark Transformation window, you are pretty much set to just be Vamp Strike, Epidemic, Vamp Strike, Epidemic, Vamp Strike. Now, speaking of Epidemic, Epidemic did actually get buffed quite a bit, but in turn, so did Graveyard. Graveyard got buffed, which means that for me personally, it's one of the top, if not the top source of damage now in keys, which is cool. I like Graveyard, but Graveyard is a heavy hitter button to press. Necrotic Coil isn't that heavy as a hitter. However, on single target with Coil of Devastation, which I think should run, it is pretty bonkers. It's pretty good. To be honest, I think Coil of Devastation is just kind of the best out of the lot. Maybe Morbidity. I think I'm running Morbidity though. But it's very good for single target, and that is obviously what we're really good at. But Coil of Devastation actually will. So, Necrotic Coil, when it's empowered by. I can't speak today, bruv. Death Coil, when it's empowered by Forbidden Knowledge, becomes Necrotic Coil. When you fire Necrotic Coil, everything in that line gets hit. And even because they're all getting damaged, Death Coil. Coil of Devastation will leave the debuff. I fucking butchered that. I'm this far in the video. I am not going to restart it. But Necrotic Coil benefits from the Coil of Devastation. And every target it touches also gets the Coil of Devastation debuff. So in general, Necrotic Coil just does 30% more damage. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Stumbled over my words like crazy, but here we are. So, that is the gist of Unholy at the moment. I just wanted to come on and just say that it's not bad. Do you know what? We're not going to watch this whole video together because it's very, very long, but I do want to skip to the end and show you the overall, at the end of the key, when this boss finally dies, the overall DPS, because we did win. We did end up actually doing the most. And I think it says like 138k here, and then on the log it was like 124k or something, or a little bit less, but we are still in a good place. If you know how to play Unholy DK, which you should if you're watching my videos, you will be fine. Don't stress. No problems. Anyways, thank you very much guys for watching. Love you guys tremendously. Hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. And I'll see you later. Bye, bye, bye.